Welcome to Anti-Moonboy News, week ending 11/3/2024. Let's jump right in. Leadoff story this week, Archetype Market has now breached 500,000 users. It is by far the largest darknet market, and it is Monero only. Archetype Market has more or less dictated the darknet ecosystem for the past couple years. They have a pretty hefty reputation. And yeah, they're still going strong after, I think they debuted in 2020. So we're coming on at almost 5 years of existence, which for a darknet market is quite a while. Our next story is the presidential race in America, which is taking place in only 2 days. Now, in cryptocurrency, there is this narrative that has been made that implies that Donald Trump winning would be better for cryptocurrency regulations. Now, there is some truth to this, as I'm about to show you in a related article. However, I will say that both Trump and Kamala have absolutely no idea how cryptocurrency works. And by extension, most politicians also have absolutely no idea how cryptocurrency works. If you don't believe me, you should watch any of the hearings that they have regarding cryptocurrency. Really what you end up having is the Republicans just asking about terrorism and the Democrats just asking about DEI hires and climate change. It's very obvious that this is being written by their interns, and they're just, the vocal mouthpiece for whatever policy positions their party has. Now, there might be some short-term market fluctuations depending on who wins, but I think it's pretty clear that regardless of which candidate wins, you're going to see long-term more regulations appear in cryptocurrency. And this is obviously bad from the perspective of somebody who wants liberty in cryptocurrency. So don't fall for this, if Trump wins, we're going to have the ideal circumstance for cryptocurrency. Highly unlikely. And plus, hearing Trump say things about how we're going to be spending money to buy Bitcoin, we're going to use Bitcoin to pay off the debt or whatever. It's just idiotic. And I don't know how people can take that seriously. Looking at the current administration, though, it's clear that there are a lot of regulations already hitting cryptocurrency and some that aren't even really known about fully. I saw this tweet thread earlier this week from an Ethereum supporter. And apparently they filed a Freedom of Information Act, and what they found was that banks who wanted to introduce crypto services or, products for their users, they were told by the FDIC to not do that. I'll post a link down below. Now, I don't really care too much about this. If a bank wants to do something, they should be allowed to, but at the same time, most of these services probably suck from the perspective of how cryptocurrency should be used. But it does show that governments are doing everything they can to overregulate the hell out of cryptocurrency. And I think it's kind of stupid to assume that if Trump wins, that this is all going to go away. It's probably going to continue in other ways. And if anything, what we've seen from the Republican side is more of a push of being against the quote-unquote terrorists using cryptocurrency, and this could have some pretty wide implications for KYC and AML legislation, more so than what we've seen from the Democratic Party side. But like I said, there probably isn't much of a difference anyway. Now for some Monero news, Haveno Redo has now broken 1,000 Monero in total volume for the past month of October, which is pretty significant considering this project only launched back in April. Now, Reto, or Rito, I don't know how to actually pronounce it, they are a network based on Haveno, which was itself a project which is based off of Bisq, which essentially forks Bisq into being a Monero on-ramp for people without KYC. It is a network over Tor. It's very easy to download. It has Tor built into it, so you don't have to You don't have to do any type of modifications to it. And like with BISC, you can on-ramp with different fiat options. And yeah, it's basically the same thing. The one thing I will say to be cautious of is that it is new and they are still building trust. So for example, they have a totally anonymous team. So don't put more Monero than you're willing to lose is what I'm trying to say. For example, one thing that's different than BISC is they don't have a governance structure. And because of that, it is possible that the arbitrators who manage Haveno, they could collude and steal funds. So just be careful. Do your own research. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm very happy about Haveno growing, but it's still something to be mindful of just because it is something that is new. However, this growth is really fantastic, and hopefully Haveno continues to grow and they begin to add community members to also contribute to the project because, like I said, it is right now just an anonymous team, and we don't know who these people are. In other news, Nano GPT has added Monero as a cryptocurrency that you can use. This is a service that provides access to different AIs that you can use. And according to their tweet, it was their most requested currency. Not surprised by that. I have not used this service, but always got to give a shout out to new businesses accepting Monero. And I did see the comments were pretty happy about this, so I will be looking to try that out at some point. I wanted to give another quick update on Kuno, the donations for the people in Palestine who are suffering. People are still donating, so I'll post a link below. I think last week we were at 47 Monero. This week we're at 60, so that's awesome to see. And it's for a good cause, so if you do have any Monero on the side, definitely donate. The last thing we're going to talk about, and I saved this for last because I really hate Michael Saylor's stupid doofus face. But yes, MicroStrategy MicroStrategy announced that they are planning this 21-21 plan. Really creative marketing there. But yeah, they are essentially what their plan is they are going to sell $21 billion worth of shares, as well as $21 billion in these debt instruments. And they're going to then use that money to then buy Bitcoin with the goal of increasing the BTC yield for its shareholders. Yes, it's convoluted, and yes, it's dependent on the price of Bitcoin continuing to go up. So if that doesn't happen, I don't know. But they're very convinced it's going to continue happening. Now, a developing narrative that I'm starting to notice is that it's very likely during this next bull run that this MicroStrategy stock is actually going to be talked about more than Bitcoin because it's much more volatile and it's probably going to have a big gains. And I'm noticing on Twitter, among other places, that these laser eye maximalists are shilling the hell out of it. Basically, everybody who has Michael Saylor's nuts in their mouths are talking about this MicroStrategy as the next big thing. And, it really is pretty obvious, right? They worship this guy, so they're going to support what really amounts to this legal pyramid scheme. We'll have to wait and see how this ends up. I saw some takes calling it an infinite money glitch. Yes, I saw that phrase. These people are delusional, but they probably can make a profit in the short term. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the upcoming bull run works, because I think a lot of these laser eyes are going to be way more focused on this stock than on Bitcoin itself, which is kind of hilarious after they've been shitting on altcoins for the past decade. Anyways, that's it. We had a pretty light week. Most of the news is being dedicated to this darn presidential race. I can't wait till it's over. But thanks for watching, and if you like the content, please donate. I love all donations. It keeps my channel running. Thanks and have a great week.